Alright, it's the morning of November 8th. I'm the shooter this morning. Jake's behind the camera. Should be a good morning, real cool, just like yesterday. But yesterday, Jake was hunting, I was filming him. We sat up at Chicago and didn't see, I think we saw probably 6-7 deer, but the buck that we've had a lot of pictures of the past 2 years, Curly, we actually saw him for the first time yesterday, and he was chasing a doe pretty hard. He never crossed over into ours or came in range. So, I mean, it was just kind of one of those things where we couldn't really draw him in to leave that doe. But we ended up leaving, I think it was around 11 o'clock with how cold it was, and we were both a little hungry. So, came in, got a bite to eat, headed back out about 1 o'clock, and sure enough, Curly was probably 90 yards from our stand. I'm guessing he was just tending with that doe. But that evening sit, everything was moving to the east side of the farm, chasing some does, saw a few bucks, but we're gonna go over and sit on that east side at this new pond that we have over in our little woods. Should be a good morning, real cool and calm, but hopefully with all that chasing yesterday, someone stops by and gets a little drink at the pond. But yeah, stay tuned, it should be an awesome morning.
Smoked him. Man, that happened fast. Smoked him. What time is it? Jesus, 9:07 probably. 6:43. We figured we'd come over here. We sat over at Chicago yesterday. Curly was chasing a doe. We ended up trying to get back in, but then there was another bigger buck, and Curly was there probably 80, 100 yards there. So then when we sat there, all the deer were running this way. So we figured try and get set up on this pond, new pond set up by Larry Rudd this summer for exactly this reason. Come here after chasing. And wow, we've been in the stand for what? Half hour, 35 minutes. Wow. Oh my gosh, that was insane. That is our #1 buck that we've had pictures of for 2 years, Curly. He's been so frustrating. He's hit every camera on this farm, over on my Uncle Dave's, across the road on our other piece. You just couldn't get a pattern on him at all. And he was at night, early morning, late in the evening. It was just so frustrating. But wow, that's my first shot on a buck since I was like a junior in high school or something like that. So wow, for all that time we put into a deer, I'm a little speechless right now. Oh,
congrats, bud. It's all in the mustache.
Hey, I just smoked Curly. Yep, at the pond. Yep. Came right off the top and broadside 20-yard shot, full pass through. Yeah.
Full pass through. That's a pretty good blood right there. We know he went all the way to the bottom. I'm just not sure if he crossed the road or not. He's right here, died right in our woods. He went probably, what? There we go.
at that. That's a mature deer.
That is the buck we have been after for 2 years. Last year, he's never had the right brow. He kind of had like a little unicorn point, but oh man, we have been after him. He's been a little frustrating with every camera he's been on, but hard work pays off. You just gotta stick to it.
All right, well, November 8th turned out to be the day we were able to harvest Curly. We've had countless amount of pictures of him the past 2 years, and he was definitely at the top of our hit list. A real big, mature 7-pointer. You can see he's missing his right brow tine, and he was last year, except he did have one little kind of a unicorn point right there last year, but I see he's missing it. But real easy buck to identify, of course, missing that brow tine. And his real dark forehead, I don't know if that's just from rubbing so much or if that's just the way it is, but just kind of a real exciting past couple days. Started real slow. Me and Jake took off this week to hunt, and yesterday we were actually up at Chicago, and for the first time in 2 years, with how many pictures we've had of Curly, we finally saw him yesterday for the first time. He was chasing a doe. There was another little buck there. He was about 60 yards on the neighbors and just couldn't get him to cross over on ours. So we went in for lunch, and of course, with how cold it was yesterday, we grabbed a bite to eat, headed back out about 1:30, and him and another bigger buck were probably 80 yards from our stand. So that kind of threw a little wrench in the equation, but we were able to get in the stand. Didn't really see anything in range, but we saw a lot of bucks chasing some does, and right behind me here, they're all going to our backside of the property. So we figured we'd come up to the pond up here in the morning, and it turned out to be the right decision. I mean, he came through at 6:43, only deer we saw, of course, that early, but that pond is just gorgeous. You can thank Larry Rudd. I can't thank him enough for taking some time out of his day to build a beautiful pond here on the Eat Farm. But can't be more excited for a buck that's been on our hit list for 2 years. Gotta thank my brother Jake for being behind the camera. We just had a lot of time and trying to figure out this buck, and sure enough it paid off, and just tickled to death finally get it done, especially here right on our own farm.